Alright, y'all, I'm going to show you an abbreviated gumbo. I'll show you a full-fledged gumbo in a later video, but this gumbo here is a shrimp and andouille sausage gumbo, and these are my ingredients. You're going to need a few green onions, okay? You're going to need a little bit of celery. You can see it right there. I took a slice off the side of a bell pepper. I'll be dicing it. I will be dicing up this onion. If you don't cut the root section, your eyes won't water. Cut the root section last. And 1 clove of garlic that I'm going to mince. This is the Andouille sausage. It's a Cajun sausage. It's a little bit spicy. I'm going to slice it up. This is some lump crab meat that I decided I would throw in there just for the hell of it. This is about a pound of shrimp. They're smaller shrimp. Smaller shrimp are a little bit sweeter. It takes 45 minutes to make a roux. I ain't got that kind of time. So this is a prepared roux. I'm going to probably use, I'm going to guess and say about a half a cup of this, since it's a shrimp gumbo. And I never put this in my gumbo, my regular gumbo, but in this I will. This is okra and tomatoes. I'll probably put about half of this jar. This is some that friends gave us that they put up. I'll be using chicken broth. Normally I make my own. Where are we at? Filet gumbo, of course. That's served on the side. A little bit of thyme, not much thyme. A little bit of oregano. 1 bay leaf. White pepper. A little bit of red pepper. Garlic salt. I didn't have fresh parsley. I'm going to use a little bit of dried parsley. Black pepper that I forgot to put out here also goes in this dish. So I'll be putting black pepper out. And I will adjust the salt to taste with Tony's. And I do that because Tony's has a mixture of everything, that all the spices that you really want in a gumbo, but I don't want to overpower any of it. So I'm going to dice this, slice these, dice up this, and dice up my garlic and my green onions, and I'll show you what I do with that when I get to that point. Thank you. Alright, y'all. First thing that I'm going to put in there is my andouille. I didn't put a lot of andouille because the shrimp are going to be the star of this show. I'm just going to brown this off just a tad. Alright, y'all, here I go with my vegetables. I'm going to put a little bit of bell pepper in there. My onions and celery. And my green onions. that is my garlic. I'll put it in a little bit. But I'm going to wilt all this down. Man, I wish I had smell-o-vision. That smells good. We call that the Trinity, which is bell pepper, celery, and onion. And then I threw some green onion in there. But I'm going to wilt this down, add my garlic. And I'll tell you what, I could go ahead and add a bay leaf. That's not going to hurt it. And I'll get right back to you. Okay, that's been going for a while. I added my garlic just a minute ago. And now I'm going to add all of this chicken stock. And I'll probably be putting some water in here too, because this chicken stock here is not going to be near enough. And I'll add water to it. After that, I'll start adding my roux and my spices. Alright, y'all, I'm going to start adding the roux. Now this is a commercially prepared roux. Y'all see Richards in Louisiana, that says Richards. Unless it's a first name, then it would be Richard. But anyway, this stuff is like mud. Thick, thick mud. And I'm just going to start adding it. You got to really dig it out of these jars. It's going to sink to the bottom, so I'm going to have to stir it to keep it off the bottom where it doesn't burn until it's fully dissolved. See that? Looks like chocolate. You can make your own easy enough. I just didn't feel like fooling with it. Like I say, that's a 45-minute ordeal. But I'll be right back. Alright, y'all, as you can see, I've got it fairly well dissolved in there. There's still some more that needs to be dissolved. But at this point, I haven't added shrimp, I hadn't added the crab meat, but I'll begin adding my seasonings. Now this is oregano. I'm just putting I don't know how to call how much it is. It's not a whole lot. But I'll begin putting it in there, and this is black pepper. Not a whole lot. This is white pepper. You damn sure don't want to put a whole lot of this. You won't be able to eat it. Just a light dusting. Cayenne pepper. About like what you see there. I'm going to put a little parsley in there. A little dried parsley. Still not a whole lot. I'm going to put a little bit of thyme in there. You want these flavors to meld. I'm going to put a little bit of garlic salt in there. Well, hell, I ain't opened it yet. Take my word for it, I'm going to do it, but you don't need to see me opening it. And there is no salt in here yet. I'm going to put a little bit of salt. I'll be testing this. It's got other spices in there. I'll be testing it for salt here in a little bit. But what's going to happen now is this stuff is just going to sit there and simmer until all the spices meld together, and then I'm going to taste it. It's before you put anything in there. Now, of course, I already got the sausage in there because it is a flavoring type sausage. But I'm going to taste it. When you make a gumbo, once you get your roux and your veggies in there, you want to taste it, and that's when you determine, is it a gumbo? You want it to taste good before you put any of your major ingredients in there, your shrimp, chicken, or whatever it happens to be. In this case, it's crab meat and shrimp. But you'll want to taste it, and when it tastes like gumbo, then you go ahead and add your meat, because it's already been cooked. If you added it now, it'd fall to pieces. Same thing for the okra and the tomatoes. It would all fall to pieces. I'm going to put all that in at the last minute after I check the seasoning on this, and I'll be back with you. Alright, y'all can see that it is come to a boil. I'll probably boil it like that for about 30-45 minutes, maybe. Excuse me. That damn Tony's gets me every time. It'll do like this for probably 30 minutes, 45 minutes to an hour. And then I will add the rest of my ingredients, meaning the shrimp, the okra and tomatoes, and the crab meat. I have tasted it. It tastes like gumbo. This is when you want it to taste like gumbo. Alright, y'all. This has been simmering for about, I don't know, 45 minutes. And I'm fixing to add my shrimp. This is about a pound of shrimp. They're small shrimp. And I'm going to put my crab meat in there. Now this is lump crab meat. Normally I check my crab meat, but this is supposed to be hand picked. Hopefully it doesn't have any shells in it. The worst thing in the world is to be eating gumbo and bite into a shell or a chicken knuckle or something. And I'm gonna open up this okra, and I'm not gonna put it all in there because I'm not making vegetable soup, and I don't like it in my gumbo at all. If this was fresh okra, I would simmer it in oil, and then that way kind of saute it in oil, and you de-slime it, you know, because it's a slimy vegetable. You probably saw it just then. But that is it. As you stir it, make sure you get the seasoning has a tendency to collect around the sides. Make sure you get that off. Alright, y'all. Soup's on. Now, I like a little bit of rice. Some people like a lot of rice. Doesn't really matter. It depends on how much gumbo you got and how much rice you got. But you can serve this with crusty French bread like I have, or a baguette, or pistolette, whatever they call them things. But this is andouille. I'll get that leaf out of there, bay leaf. Andouille and shrimp gumbo. And just a little bit of filet on top. And that is it. I'll make a real gumbo one of these days. Appreciate you watching. Bye.